Okay, good morning. I'm going to wait till the 2 minute mark, 5 minutes. Let's see who's going to pop on this morning. Looking like a rabbit. Looking like a rabbit. Yep. The start of a beautiful morning. Good morning, AK. Thank you. Good morning. I was trying to show the day starting. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Sometimes I wish I had moved on the seventh floor. Good morning, AKA. I hope all was well with the doctor yesterday. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is January the 30th. Oh, we've been 30 days into this new year, and it has been a doozy. It has been a doozy. And and I thank you to that one person that's, up above watching. And I understand. I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm glad she was pleased with you. And whatever you're doing, just keep it up. Keep it up. We thank God for the grace and the mercy that He has extended to you, girl. I was in the um I was in the kitchen yesterday, and I remember, and when you said you had to go to the doctor, I just started praying, in my mind for healing and a supernatural, go with expectations and go with hope to hear a good report. And yesterday, and I went to the kitchen around about maybe 12 o'clock, because 12 o'clock, and I thought about you, and I said, Lord, if it's your will, Father God, touch what needs to be touched, heal what needs to be healed. Let it be done in your name if that's your will. And I felt okay about it. I felt pretty good about it. And I understand that whatever report it was, we were gonna deal with it the way we would have to deal with it. I would want you to know that you wouldn't have to walk through it alone, that you wasn't by yourself. You're never going to be by yourself. Um, God is always near. And I am the type of person, when a person is going through something, I don't like to, I don't, because I know when I'm going through something, I have to go inside me first before I can invite anybody else. So give that person a moment, but to just let them know at any given moment or any given time of the day, if you need to just vent, scream, holler, cry, and you just need somebody to hear you vent, scream, holler, or cry, I am that person. I am that person. And I thank God for whatever you're doing. I pray to God that you continue to do it and you get better with each passing minute, each passing hour, and each passing day. And that's my prayer for you to God. And I thank God that you're good. I thank God that everything is good. I was up this morning. I turned my air off. I turned the heat off, and it's so cool. It is not cold that I left the living room windows open. I left my room window open. I live on the third floor. I don't think nobody can climb that far. If they could, they good. And the way the building is built, and just looking out. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm going to show you what I have been looking at this morning. This is what I have been looking at this morning. I'm going to turn it around so that you can see it. This is what I woke up to. And it's always so beautiful. And I wish I had a move. The lady asked me how far up did I want to go. And I said, I don't want to go no higher than the third or the fourth floor. So she put me on the third floor, but this is beautiful. I've been on the fourth floor before. And it's a beautiful being up front, being up there, being up on the seventh floor. Oh man, you can see the water. You can see, oh man, it is so beautiful up on the seventh floor. But my head starts spinning when I'm on that seven. Whenever I go to visit someone on the seventh floor, my head starts spinning and I get dizzy being that high. And plus my daughter mama, well, you don't need to be nowhere that high. Just the third floor is good enough. So I said, it is what it is. And that's where I will, this is where I'm going to be staying until I can't be here no more. Thank you for that. Good morning, Desiree. Good morning. Good morning. She said, I didn't lose too much of my kidney function from last year. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Um, we're gonna pray about that. I'm gonna keep you in prayer about that. I'm gonna keep you in prayer for that. This morning it is pretty nice out. Feel pretty good this morning. I have the window open and I can hear the sounds of people moving about, the cars and everything. Today is a beautiful day. Today is a special day because God allowed us to be here once again. So before I start, please hit that like and share button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate it. Yesterday, I sometimes I'll go back and I will listen to my thoughts because really these are just my thoughts, and some of the things that I've been through and some of the things that I'm going through. And there was a lady that she watched the recap, and I respect her for her opinion, and I respect what it is that she said, and I accept what she said. And everybody has the right to do whatever they want, however they want, whenever they want. As long as you're not being rude or overly opinionated, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. And if this is not where you want to be, we all have choices. We don't have to be here. So she told me why she unsubscribed from me, and I just might subscribe back. If you and in my heart, and I was saying, well, that's her business. If she choose to, that would be great. If she choose not to, that'll be okay too. So it's not going to make me, nor is it going to break me, because I'm going to still get up and do what it is that I do. So I can appreciate constructive criticism because it grows me. It gives me something to think about. It gives me something to work on. However, my opinion is just that. It's my opinion. And whoever I choose to listen to, whoever I choose to unsubscribe from, that's my business. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm never going to I may think like other people and I may feel like other people at times. But I always say I was born by myself. And I didn't have many friends because I chose not to walk with the crowd. I chose not to walk with the crowd. My cousins were my friends. And in my lifetime, I maybe have had, I think I've had four best friends. Two of them passed away. So I don't have a best friend now. God is my best friend. I'm my best friend. I'm my best friend. So I feel like when I started this channel, things were kind of rowdy out in the YouTube street. And I chose to be where I was. I would visit different channels. I would go on different panels, but a situation happened. And to this day, the person don't even know, or they do know or don't care about what transpired, and things began to happen. I just started watching things and watching things, and I backed away. I walked away, and that decision made led to me just unsubscribing from pretty much everybody that I had subscribed to. I unsubscribed because I don't like turbulence. When you in an airplane and they just, and sometimes I don't know if they running into a cloud and it's a little bumpy and then you get all scared and stuff like that. I don't like mess. I really don't like mess. And I felt like I was drowning in mess. And that's not part of who I am. So I made a conscious decision in November, October, September, because God had been working on me. I asked God to cleanse me. Whatever is not pleasing, whatever is not desirable, whatever does not look like you, whatever does not feel like you, deliver me from that. And God began to work on me and work. And I think I did a little pushback with God because I'm asking God to do that. But then I want to hold on and keep going the way that I was going. And when you proclaim to be a child of God, when you are calling God my father, when you are saying all this stuff to God, use me, God, show me this, God, do this for me, God, remove this, God, and God start removing that stuff, God start showing you, God start delivering you, then I wanted to kind of like, no, but I want to keep that. I want to keep that. I want to keep that. And I want to keep that. And especially that in that corner. I want to keep that too. And God said, no, that's not the way this go. You said you came to me. You came to me on your own free will. You mine now. And you always asking me to guide your step, to direct your path and all of this stuff. So I'm doing it. So I'm going to do what I do. So you just better buckle down, get ready, because sometimes it's going to be a bumpy ride, and sometimes it's going to be a lonely ride, and sometimes it's going to be a joyous ride. So, and that's where I am in my life right now. And I appreciate what the lady said. I didn't take it to heart, because those were her thoughts, those were her feelings, and that was her opinion. And you know what they say, we all got opinions. And she was allowed to have hers. So, when I got up this morning, I think it was about maybe like four. It's always seemed like it's 4:22. Seemed like it's always 4:22 when I wake up. It seemed, and I woke up at 4:22. I said, well, I might as well listen to my morning reading. So I was listening to my morning reading and tried not to doze off while I'm listening to it. Try to occupy my mind and get a picture in my mind um what the scripture was talking about. So this morning in my morning reading out of In Touch, and it's almost over. It's almost February. Y'all, it's almost February. It is almost February. Um, in the morning reading this morning, and I woke up thinking the day was Friday. It just felt like Friday morning to me. And I woke up and it was it was asking, are you focusing on God or obstacles? And that's coming from the book of Numbers, Old Testament, Numbers chapter 13, verses 25 through chapter 14. to verse 10. So I start listening to it. I opened up my Bible and I followed along while it was while I had the Bible app on, and I opened my Bible so I can read it. And the gist of it is when Moses sent out the spies, the 12 spies. He sent out 12 men to go and spy on this land. So when he took it, the 12 men went out, 10 came back with a bad report, but two was sure we could take this. We could overtake them. It's enough for us where we could overtake all of them. But 10 of them came back was saying, nah, them people big, they strong, and I don't think we could do it. We ain't gonna be able to do that. But two of them said, I'm just giving you the gist of what it is. And I'm telling you, it's a very interesting. There are some interesting stories in the Bible, and they will captivate you. And the gist of it is those 10 saw the men in that city as being an obstacle. They were looking at the problem. They were looking at the problem, but the other two saw, okay, they saw the same thing as the 10 saw. But what they saw with the grace of God, with the mercy of God, and the might of God, we could defeat them. And I started thinking, right? Y'all remember yesterday I told you it was a situation that was coming up. And I know it's brewing because something was posted, right? And I didn't feel no type of way about what was posted. I started laughing about what was posted. So, and I'm seeing it as clear as day. So when I read this about, are you focusing on God or the obstacle? See, I'm focusing on my vision is set on God. I'm looking towards the hill where my help comes from. I'm not looking at what is to come. I'm looking at what is now. I'm looking at how God is transforming me. Had how He transforming me, how He has transformed me. So I'm looking at that, right, and it's almost like I see it. Oh my God, I see it as plain as day. I see it. But I'm not gonna go to them. I'm gonna let them bring it to me. I'm gonna let them bring it to me. And when they bring it to me, I ain't got to get ready. I ain't got to find the words to say because I already got the words to say. I'm ready for the battle. I am ready for the battle. And I said yesterday, I said, this happened to me before, and I see the same thing happening again. And then, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit, for that. The same thing is happening again, and Holy Spirit just dropped. This could be the out that God is giving, because I left angrily once. And if God so choose for me to leave again, I will not be leaving in anger. I will be leaving with an understanding. They will be understanding. So it's not like I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not running away from it either. I'm not running away from it either. So when I was reading, are you focusing on God or on the obstacles? And this not only for me, because I know for the ones that's listening, for the ones that's in the chat, and for the ones that's in the bed, in the bushes, in the car, at work, wherever you are, there's something, and anybody who just may happen to watch this on replay, I implore you to go to Numbers 13, verse 25 to through verse 14, and to chapter 14, and stop at verse 10. But I went a little bit further because it had got interesting. It got real interesting. So whatever you're going through, whatever situation, whatever issue that you got, whatever problem you can't seem to stop thinking about, because you can't stop worrying about it. Worrying all that worrying, and you still ain't got no solution because you're focusing on the problem. You're focusing on the situation. You're focusing on the issue. You don't, you're not, oh ye of little faith. You have not taken it to God in prayer. Or you done taken it to God. I'm gonna keep on praying to God till I get it, until I get it. We pray and we stop thinking, okay, God, I done prayed, I done asked, I done had this conversation with you. That's how I used to pray. I pray about it one time, didn't see nothing happening. I said, oh, well, he ain't answer. But I have learned and I am learning. So I asked the pastor one time, I said, you pray to God, and he said, how many times you pray about it? I said, just one time. He said, if you don't answer, keep on praying, keep on asking, keep on telling them, Lord, I need this, I need you, I need, and so that's what I do. That's what I do, and that's what we have to do. And God is moving, and it's not that he don't hear, because God hear all of us at the same time, because that's the type of God that we serve. That's the kind of God I serve. you know that's the reason he is God. God can do more than one thing at a time. God could be more than one place at a time. You know, um, and I was just thinking about that. Focus on God. Put the focus on God. You got to go to the doctor. Don't worry about, you know, you have a little worry about it, but you're going to give it to God. You're going to keep giving to God, and then you're going to go to the doctor, and the doctor's going to give you some news that you're not really comfortable with. However, it would be so much easier because I'm going to rely on my faith. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Marita. Good morning, chat. Good morning, Carrie. Thank you for being here. So sometimes it's so easy to say and it's hard to do, but I like to say it's not hard, but it's not easy. So I just kind of rearrange it and word it different. It's not hard, to be faithful, but it's not easy to be faithful either, because soon is a something that comes that surprises us, that startles us. We get scared. That's your first instinct. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh my God, that oh my God, oh God, oh my God, and oh God. And for a minute, we're shaken. We're shaken. But then when we're shaken, and the realness of the situation, I just say, Lord, my time is in your hand. I cannot handle this right now. Some of them songs, I be throwing them songs at God. I be throwing them scriptures at God. And so God say his word will not come back void. That means there's going to be there is an answer. There is a solution, to whatever problem that we have. You got a husband that's just tapping, he tapping on that nerve, and he ain't doing the things that he's supposed to do. There is a solution for that. The solution is not to leave. The solution is not to be a nagging woman, because what the Proverbs say about a nagging woman, a nagging wife. The solution is to get down on your knees and start praying for that husband, praying for that situation with your husband. The children out there just acting all wild, doing whatever they want to do, being disrespectful. And you know what? You done said all you could say. You done cried. You done did everything. But once you done did everything, you got to get down there on them knees and pray for that child. Pray for that child out there on the drugs, that child who just don't want to seem like they could get right, just can't get right, child. You have to continually pray. It's in the word, in the Bible, in the New Testament, it said we have to pray. In the Old Testament, in Psalms, it says, let prayer continually flow out of your mouth. We got to continually pray about everything, all things, and anything, whether we're having the best day, best month, best year ever. We got to pray about it. We got to constantly stay in prayer. So you got to look at God and not that issue, not that situation, not that obstacle that you don't know what you're gonna do. Is right there. You don't know that mountain, and it looks so big. And it tells us if we have the faith the size of a mustard seed. You can hold a mustard seed just like this and you don't even see it. So that means if you have the tiniest of faith, because after you plant a mustard seed, it grows to be a shade, a big, beautiful shade, you know. So you got that mountain and you don't know how to maneuver, you don't know how to climb over it, you don't know how to go around it, and then you're just trying to figure out how I'm gonna get past this. How am I gonna get past this? When you start praying and when you pray with faith, when you pray with expectations, when you pray with hope, you're gonna start seeing that mountain just chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away. And after a while, you're gonna just be able to walk over that mountain. You become an overcomer. You have walked over that mountain. That's why I believe I can do all things to Christ Jesus that strengthens me. So I am learning, and I have learned to not see the obstacle, but see the God that's going to remove that obstacle. I'm going to always be in prayer. I will. This happened. I saw this happening. I saw this happening last Sunday in church, but I had been seeing it, and I wasn't really paying it that much attention. And because it wasn't important to me, and it's still not important to me, it's not my business. God gonna work it out. God did already work it out. There's a process that I have to go through. And in Psalms 27, verse 14, it say, wait, be of good courage and wait. And again, I say, wait. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for it to come to me because I don't have the problem. I don't have the issue. And I am that type of person. When I'm like what the girl name? I'm like Ariane. When you know, you know. When you know, you know. So the people that really know me personal and up close, they know when I said what I had to say. I'm done with it. I don't do no I don't do that back. I don't do all that talking. I don't go backwards and forward. And I don't, like that people get on social media and start doing the social media fighting, like, on Facebook and Instagram. They want to post all this stuff. I don't do that because what I've said it, and it's a wrap. When I do this, it's a wrap. It's done. It's over far as I'm concerned. Now, I can't stop a person from posting stuff. I can't stop a person for, having them sidewalk conversations and, they get in their car and they get on the phone and have their conversation and sometimes be sitting in church texting. I ain't got nothing to do with that because I've said what I had to say. And, I got God on my side. So I got an army with me. The people that you choose to get to go along that with you, that's on y'all. That ain't on me. That's not on me. But a lot of people understand you better prepare yourself when you coming for me. Prepare yourself, and then you can't come to me any kind of way. And they know that. So I don't live in fear of what people think about me. I don't live in fear of what people say about me. Long as you don't come and put your hands on me, we good. We are good. I have nothing to do with your thoughts, your feelings, or what you say. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm so past that now. And this is what I don't think they understand right now because I see it coming. I see it coming. I see it coming. And so, like I said, I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait for it to come. I'm not going to be, it's not being bad. It's not even being bold. I'm going to do thus says the Lord. I'm going to be of good courage and I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait. And when the time comes, I'll pounce. You come to me, I just like I say, I ain't matching, I'm meeting. Wherever you are, babe, I'll meet you up there. Or I'm already there. So in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit, all is well with me. All is well with me. And so when I was reading that, it says, focusing on your obstacles distort our vision. Because when you're focusing on the problem, when you're focusing on the issue, you lose sight of everything else because your mind is always on what the problem is. You can't find a solution because you're worrying about the problem. You're worrying about the problem. So once we stop worrying about the problem and start focusing on the person, good morning, Sean. Once we start focusing on the problem and focusing on the man, focusing on God, you'll start seeing why you be wanting to kick yourself because you be saying, why I spent that time, waste all that time worrying about that. And then sometimes God will make it so crystal clear that all that energy you wasted that you can't get back, that you will not get back, fretting about a situation. You can't get that time back. And my thing is, y'all, I'm a little bit vain. I really am. I'm a little bit vain because I would say, my grandma said, have a frown on your face gets stuck. And that's the look that you're gonna have, that frown all the time. So as I got older, I kept, I started, self-care. I think when I was about 13 years old, I started, you know, really being into self. I really did. And so as I got older, people would know, that's just what she do. I walk around, sit out on the front porch with cream on my face and, don't be in the sun too much. And no, I don't want those wrinkles in my face. I don't want my face looking like, tan, looking like leather and stuff like that. So I started doing all that stuff when I was early. So, and I said, well, Lord, all that worrying, it don't, and I said, all that worrying, it don't do nothing but put wrinkles in your face. You know, your skin don't look good. And I'm just telling you, mine, when I start worrying about something and I look in the mirror and I say, oh no, my face look ashy. There's no glow to my skin anymore. I just look tired and stuff like that. So I said, So I'm learning, and I have learned not to worry about it, to pray about it. Because if I'm praying about it, I can't worry about it. And if I'm a worry about it, it ain't doing no good to pray about it, because the worry is gonna overshadow the prayer. Can't really get a good prayer in, because it's almost like you're saying, well, Lord, I don't know if you could do it. I hope you could do it. You might could do it, but I don't know. I don't think so. But Lord, here I go. I'm finna tell you what it is. So if you could do something about it, please do something about it. I don't tell God no if. God is a omnipotent God. He's an omnipotent. Omnipotent means he's the almighty, infinite. Infinite mean without ending. So God is almighty. He's infinite in power. So he's an all powerful God. Ain't nothing too hard for God. And that God can do all things. God can do everything. And he wants us to know that we can do all things as well through him, through Jesus Christ, his son. We can do it. But we got to stop worrying. We got to stop fretting about what people think about us. We got to stop fretting about what people say about us. Because that ain't my business what somebody say about me. That is not my business. I ain't got nothing to do with what nobody say about me. I ain't got nothing to do with what nobody feel about me. I really don't. Because if you don't care for me, this ain't the place for you to be. And if you don't care about me, around me is not where you want to be. Because I'm never going to cease in being me. I'm never going to stop being me. And then once people get to really know me, like go, if we're in a group and You got certain people in that group that said things about me, and this person really don't know how to feel about me and stuff. And then at the end of the day, they just laughing and "Ooh, girl, you so silly, Miss Renee. I didn't know you was this much fun." And then people say, "Girl, I sure like to go out with you because you so crazy. I know I have fun." Because that's the type of person I am. You have to get to know me, and when you get to know me, is to love me. But I'm just one of those persons. I'm not a friendly person. I don't go out of my way to be friends with nobody. I'm not a nice person, but I'm a good person. However, I'm a good person. I am nice. It's just I'm nice to the people that's nice to me. But if you come to me all frown and this, whoa, Nelly, stop the horse. No, that's not the way you come to a person. So I have learned, and I'm learning. I don't let people dictate how I'm going to feel. I don't let people dictate how I am going to be. I just don't do that. So stop looking at the people. Stop listening to the murmuring of people. Because people have you all discombobulated. They'll have you all confused because one day they up and one day they down and one day they their bestest friend, and then one day they talking to your enemy about you. So, I take everything with a grain, with a pinch of salt, with a grain, because that ain't nothing but a little bit. I don't let people bother me. And then when something come up, just like I said, I'm learning how to focus, and I have learned how to focus on God. And I'm gonna tell you, and that is the best way to be. That's the best feeling in the world, because sometimes you know what, and we're gonna have things that come up, you know, whatever it is. We're gonna have things that's gonna come up. And I have learned, I used to be when things would happen to me and I would get so scared. I would get so scared. And the first thing I would say, "Oh Lord, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Oh God, what I'm gonna do?" And when I used to get scared, I used to, I done told y'all about the crack smoking and the shooting the dope and all of that, right? So I'd be smoking, and then that's when God want to have a conversation with me while I'm trying to get high. And then I get my heart started beating so fast. I said, "Oh Lord." And then I'm calling on God. "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God." And then, at the end of my addiction, I would used to be getting high, right? And one time I was sitting on the toilet getting high, and my stuff dropped down in my, was had dropped between my thigh on my thigh. Instead of opening my thigh to let the shit fall, I just let this burn me because I wasn't letting my stuff, fall in the toilet. And God was just working on me because I had iced God just to take the taste out my mouth. But in the meantime, while I'm icing God to take the taste out my mouth, I'm still doing the same thing I'm doing, but I'm still saying, "Lord, please just take the taste away from me. Take the taste out my mouth." But I'm still beaming up Scotty. I'm still beaming up Scotty. First, I say, "Lord, take the taste of the drugs away from me. Deliver me from that." I'm still shooting up. I'm still speedballing. I'm still doing all of that. Needle in my arm, and I'm just saying, "Lord, please take this away from me." Got trike marks on my arm and stuff like that. Scared to wear. I wore my short sleeves and everything, thinking I'm using the cocoa butter to hide the trike marks and, stuff like that. And I said, "Lord, please just take the taste away from me. Please just take the taste away from me." And it was like I exchanged one drug for another drug. And then in that addiction for a little minute, then I'm saying, I said from one extreme to the other. And then it was one I was sitting on, and I said, "Lord, please just take the taste away. Please." While I'm icing, even on my way to get the drugs, I'm icing God to take it away, to take it away. So God said, "Okay, you keep icing me to take it away, but you keep going to get it." So the more I did that, and I'll never forget, a Friday the 13th, I'm going to Lehigh. I'm living in Fort Myers now. I'm going to Lehigh to pick up my kids. See the dope deal. I say I ain't turning down the street today. I ain't gonna do nothing today because the day Friday the 13th. Don't know what gonna happen. I don't know how the car turned, but the car turned. But that day I went to jail. I went to jail. Was in jail for ever how long I was in jail to get arraigned, and then by 12 o'clock that night I was by 10 o'clock that night I was out of jail. By 12 o'clock that night I was back in jail for buying the drugs, and then for assault and battery. 12 o'clock I was arrested for assault and battery. So I got put on probation, couldn't handle that, left Lee County, moved to Hillsborough County, got in trouble in Hillsborough County, had to be extradited back to Lee County. Now I'm spending, they give me a year in jail. I would rather just give me the day, give me the year and the day, since I know what, I ain't gonna be in jail that long. If I get a year and a day, I'm gonna be in prison for about 6 months. Give me a year, I'm gonna have to do the whole year. So I got kind of understanding of the system, and I know this is not where I want to be. So God said, this is the way I have to deliver you from that. This is the way I'm going to deliver you from that. So I began to understand, when you ask God for things, when you're praying and asking God, God going to answer you. And it may not be the way that you want, but it's the way that you need. And that's the way that I needed. Now, it was drugs in jail. And when I was in prison, there were drugs there too. But I chose not to, because I know if I started anything, there was no way that I was going to try to break out of jail, because there wasn't no way that I could break out of jail. And then there was no way that I could escape from prison, because I'm too scared. I'm too scared with that part. And I was a trustee, so my time got cut down a little bit. So I thank God for that. So I stopped looking at the drugs as being a problem and see what the problem was with me. What was the real reasoning for me being on the drugs? And God began to work on me with that real reasoning, the underlying issue about the drugs. So I stopped focusing, because my focus got so distorted. It got so distorted. And this morning reading said, problems loom so large we can't see to take the next step in faith. But if God has called us to do something, the reality we need to see is this: He already planned a way out. He planned a way around it, over it, or through it. Any barriers that might lie on the path of fulfilling his purpose for our life. So whatever you're going through, whatever obstacles that's blocking you, God is not a way maker. God is the way maker. God, it ain't God done make God gonna make a way. God done already made the way. The path has been clear. The path has been clean. There's just a process. You just got to walk through it. You got to walk through that problem. You focus on just like I said, focus on the obstacle. It distorts our view. The problems begin to get, it's like they say, you making a mountain out of molehill. And a molehill don't start, it just starts out small. And the more we focus on that problem, the bigger it get. When it wasn't nothing, it not saying that it wasn't anything, but when you go to the problem solver, when you go to the man that parted the Red Sea, when you go to the man that has the whole world, the whole universe in his hand, when you go to God in prayer and you pray about it, that means you're releasing it to God. When you release it to God, don't go back and say, well, God, you know what? You're moving too slow. You moving too slow for me. When God is silent, God is moving. God is doing something. If God gives if God give us everything we wanted every time we wanted it, we cease to need God, because we think we're doing this on our own, and we're in a sense, we're kind of like prostituting God, like we pimping God or something. Like God is an ATM. But how can you go to the ATM when you ain't even got nothing in your savings or your checking? You just taking from God, you just taking from God, just taking from God. Never sit down and have a conversation with God. Never sit down and say, thank you, Lord, for being an overcomer. I thank God every day. You know what, yesterday, when I got off, I felt good all day long. I felt good all day long, right? So I had told y'all how junky my room was, and I can't function in clutter. I'm structured. Everything, the way I grew up was there's a place for everything and everything has to be in place. And that's the way I grew up. If you see it, pick it up. If it need to be moved, move it. Put it where it goes. And that's the way I grew up structured. And that's the way I brought my children up. And I cannot stand clutter. I can't function. I I get all discombobulated when things are not, and I don't like looking for things. I don't like looking for anything. That's why I keep my house clean. That's why I keep my house structured. Even when I go grocery shopping, and my kids used to just they just throw the meat in the refrigerator. They throw the canned goods up, and I went crazy the first time my children did that, and I took everything down, and I did it over myself, and I had them to watch me. Canned goods, turn them around. I don't want to read what's in them. I want to see what it is. I done already read what's in them. So when you I want the corn, the whole corn here. I want the cream corn here. I want the poking beans here. I want the string beans here. I want the green peas here, the sweet peas here. I want the stewed tomatoes turned around. I want everything turned around and in proper order. And it used to drive my children crazy. Even with folding, you can fold your clothes the way you want to fold them, but with my towels, my sheets, they gotta be folded properly. And I was just anal about that. I was just, everything got to be neat and in order. Neat and in order. So I stopped. Good morning. I said what I said. Good morning, hon. I I was just like that. So whatever problems we're going, whatever issue you got, pray about it. Don't pray to God give you an answer. And when God give you that answer, you give God some praise of thanks. And whatever you're going through right now, and you may not see a way out, but there is a way out. God has already prepared the way for you. I just read it where it says, but if God has called us to do something, even when something come to us that's not of our own doing, the reality, just like I said, the reality, we need to see this. He already planned a way around it, over it, and through any and all things that we are going through. Because, see, you know what? We can't see the next 5 minutes. We can't see the next 5 minutes. God could see what's going to happen in 2026, 27, 28, 29, 30. God vision is more stronger, more deeper than our vision. So we could focus on only what we could focus on. And so if God could see, if God knew the beginning before the beginning began, don't you know all of this was factored in, all the problems that we're having, all the issues that we're having, being talked about, being put down, being let down, being betrayed. Don't you know God already saw that was happening? God saw that happen before you was even thought about. God knew what was going to happen to you before you were formed in your mother's womb. God already saw that somebody was going to betray you. Somebody was going to hurt your feelings. Somebody was going to talk about you. God already saw that. However, God saw it, and God had already prepared the way, a way for you to not fret about it, to not get angry about it, not to go out there, go to jail about it, because sometimes we let our emotion overrule us. So God already saw that. So this problem that we might have, the problems that we have, God already fixed the solution. And then, there's a process when you're going through, there's steps and there's processes that you go through, getting to wherever it is that God will have you to be, right? So you can either choose to go through that process, worrying about it, angrily, hurt, bitter, distort, going through it. But and see how far you're gonna get worrying about it. See how far you're gonna get holding anger and animosity and strife. See how far you're going to get with that. You may get that momentary pleasure, but if you choose to pray about it and be of good courage and wait for the answer and go through it with a grateful heart, with a heart full of thanksgiving and giving God the praise and giving God the honor and glory to God, go through it like that, I'm going to tell you. Smooth sailing. Never said you. God never told us we was not going to have the issues of life. He never said we wasn't going to have the issues of life, but he did say, "Cast all your cares." He said, "Throw all that to me. I my yoke, your burdens and my yoke. I got this. I got this." But we got to learn how to take it to God in prayer and not take it back from God. And as I was reading this morning, I started thinking about how everybody, a lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody, some people were so afraid. My daughter was one of them. And that's why I don't pray and ask God for patience, because she was wearing my patience. And I had to learn temperance. I had to be empathetic. I had to be compassionate towards what she was feeling. Her daughter's getting ready to graduate high school. Her daughter, she need help paying for her daughter to go to college. And I had to be empathetic with that. I had to be compassionate with that, because as a mother, as a parent, I understand when you can't do for your child the way you want to do for your child. And then you start feeling hopeless. You start feeling like a failure because you can't do something that for your child that your child is trying to do for herself. And I understood that. But I was losing patience that I don't ask for. And I was losing that with her. I was losing that with her. And I was getting pissed off because, girl, you worrying about and then I don't ask God. I don't ask God for patience. I don't, because I'm afraid he's going to give me something that I'm going to have to be patient for. So I say the easiest thing for me to do is not to ask God for it, but temperance, um, I had to calm myself down. I had to put myself in her place, and I had to be empathetic, because you know what? When our children hurt, we hurt, and you do the best that you can. And when you do the best that you can, and something comes along to distort that, to kind of mess it up a little bit, and you don't understand, you get in a tizzy and you don't understand, and you don't know what to do, and you don't even know what to do about not knowing what to do. So I read that, and I started praying for my daughter. I started praying for her. I started praying on the situation. So she told me last night, she said, "Mom," she said, "I ain't never prayed like I prayed last night." So we were talking yesterday. She would say, "I never prayed like I prayed last night. I prayed for the president." She said, "And I prayed, Mama." She said, "I ain't pray like that." She said, "I prayed." And I said, "Well, that's good. That's good." And I said, I had listened to Jasmine Crockett, and she was telling about the how the Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, how it works. So I was telling my daughter. So I say people need to learn about the branches of the government. There's three different branches of the government. There's the judicial, and the executive. It's three. I know I just named two, and I can't remember, but it's the House of Representatives, it's the Senate, and it's the Congress. And basically, really, for real, it's the Congress that was running things. I say this man can he can the let okay, that's it. Legislature, okay, it's judicial, legislature, and executive. Right. So I was telling her about that. She said, well, Mama, I know that. Then I say, well, you know that, but do you know how God worked? Do you know how God worked? God over all of that. You know, because if God want to put a stop to it, because just like reading numbers, reading numbers, how Moses sent these 12 people out and 10 came back with bad reports, two came back saying we could do this. And then, you know, God was saying, God had got kind of upset. He said, I'm so sick of y'all murmuring. You cried because you talk about you didn't have no food. I gave you manna from heaven. You ate every day. I gave you your daily bread every day. Then you cried you about your tired of eating the manna. We ain't got no meat. So God brought quails to the desert. Then to my well, we done had manna, we done had meat. Now we thirsty. We need something to drink. I'm just paraphrasing that ain't the way it go, but I'm just saying it the way that I say it, right? Now we done had all of this. Now I'm thirsty. Then one person thirsty, then now the whole camp, everybody thirsty. So God supplied all their needs. Their shoes didn't wear out, their clothes didn't wear out. So if God did it for them, God is the same God back from over 2,000 and some years ago as he is in 2025. He is same God. The same God that supplied all their needs is the same God that's going to supply all of our needs. But we got to be believe that God is going to do what God says he's going to do. God promised it's over 100 promises that God promised us. And if he done broke any promise to anybody, raise your hand. Raise your hand and let me know what promise God promised to you that he did not fulfill. That he did not fulfill. Oh, he said he'll never leave me, not forsake me. But what about my mama? She got sick and she passed on. That was the will of God because God saw something that you did not see. God did not want, and we're a selfish bunch of people. Mama could be on an what is that thing? What keep them alive? Or what is that thing that keep you alive? What is it? I don't want to say what is it? You know, the thing that make you breathe. Whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. God did not intend for us to live long. God intended for us to live a life pleasing to him. But when is your time to go, however God chooses for you to go, that's his will. Because I always feel like my friend passed away. It'll be a year in February that my friend passed away. She had lupus and other complications from her lupus. And just to see her and sit and talk to her on Sunday at church, a ventilator. I couldn't get that. I want to say an inspirator, but you know, a ventilator. And to see Wanda on Sunday sitting over in that corner just don't look the same anymore. You know, walk in church and turn over there and she say, hey, 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 Marita. She said, girl, when I grow up, I'm gonna be just like you. And she would say that every Sunday. She would say that to me that she came to church. And just that Sunday, just sitting there and we just talking. We just laughing, no indication that she was hurting, no indication that anything was going on with her. And Wanda used to love to dance. And I know she up in heaven now just dancing and having a good time because Wanda was all about her family and, you know, dancing. And, you know, Wanda had went through a lot of stuff in life and she wore it well. And then to wake up from the phone ringing, 9 o'clock that morning, I had saw her that Sunday in church. 9 o'clock Monday morning. I get a phone call and say she passed away 5 o'clock Monday morning. That was hard. That was hard. And even coming up to her anniversary, that's hard. And it'll be 3 years in July for my cousin. I saw it and saw life leave my cousin. I saw life leave her. I saw life leaving her. I saw her up walking around, and Friday, when I went to convince her to go back in the hospital, the paramedic want to take her to one hospital, but she want to go to the hospital that she was employed at. And for the paramedic to say, ma'am, she's going to have to sign a disclosure because I don't think she's going to even make it to the hospital. Hospital 5 minutes away where she could have went. But she wanted to go to a hospital that was at least 25 minutes away. 15, 20, 25 minutes away. God's mercy and his grace got her back where she wanted. I saw that. I was there. I, you know, I saw when her doctors came in and asked her to forgive them because they couldn't help her. They could not save her. I was there when they put her on a floor to die. I was there when they put her in hospice. But God was just gracious enough and had mercy on me that he allowed me to go home and oversleep and did not get back to her in time. So I'm going to tell you, life is precious. Time we don't have a lot of. We do not have a lot of. So why spend the time that we have worrying about what we don't have control over? And my motto has always been this. I'm not going to worry about what I cannot control. If I cannot do something about it, I ain't going to worry about it. If there's something I can do about it, I'm going to do what I can do, and that's all that I can do. But I've also learned to pray about it and not fret about it. That's why I said I'm not going to never, ever allow nothing, no one to disturb my peace and the joy that I have. The world and the people in the world didn't give it, and the world and the people ain't going to take it away. And my happiness is not predicated on what's happening. My happiness comes from within. My happiness comes from knowing that where I am, God is there as well. God will meet you where you're at. God will meet you right where you are. God, wherever, if you're in the pit of hell, if you feel like you're in the pit of hell right now and you don't see no daylight, God right there in hell with you. But you got to stop focusing on what took you to hell and focus on what's going to bring you out of hell. Who's going to bring you out of jail? Who's going to bring you out of hell? Keep your focus on God. And I promise you, the promises that God made in the Holy Bible are the promises that God is going to keep. Because if God don't keep his promises, then he just like man, he's a liar. And the truth ain't in it. He's a liar and the truth ain't in it. Look at your grandparents. And if you were fortunate enough to know who your great grandparents was, are your great grandparents. If you were fortunate enough, these people couldn't read. Some of them couldn't even write, but they had an understanding. They know that they knew their money, and they knew that they wanted the best for their children. They didn't worry about what the white folks was doing, because all that they could see, they wanted their children to have the best of the best of the best. And that's what I used to tell my daughter all the time. And she said, Mama, when I grow up, I'm gonna be, when she was a little girl, she would tell me now, she said, Mama, I thought you was superwoman. I thought you could do everything. And she said, Mom, I still feel like that. She said, when you pray, when I said, Mom, please pray for me. And she said, Mom, when you pray for me, I know God gonna hear you. It's just something about when you pray for me, I know it's gonna happen. And I would tell my daughter all the time, honey, I want you to be better than me. Be much better than me. Be better than me. And I pray for you all the time. Not just when you ask me, but I pray even harder when you ask for me. And I appreciate you keeping me lifted up in prayer. Y'all, and please do, because I'm getting ready to go into a battle that I have no idea about, but I know the ending. I know how it's going to end because I know who's with me, who's standing with me in battle. I'm ready, so I don't have to get ready. I'm prepared, so when it come, I already be prepared for it. So I don't, just like I said, don't allow whatever it is that you're going through right now, whatever anybody is going through right now, just sit down and have a conversation with God. And I mean an honest conversation with God, an open conversation with God, and just talk to God like He your friend. Because not only is He our Father which art in heaven, He's also our friend. And He's a very good friend, the bestest friend that we can have. Yeah, I said bestest, the bestest friend that we can have. A friend that you can go through when you're going through. You just like to have somebody that listen to you, and you want to be honest, and just pour your heart out to God. Just pour your heart out to God and tell God what it is. Tell, and before we go to anybody else, how about just take it to God? Take it to God first. Take it to God in prayer and keep praying about it. You ain't nagging God. You ain't bothering God. God want to hear from us. God wants to hear from us. It's not like God, because He's an all-knowing, all-seeing, and an ever-present God. So it's not like He don't know. But He want to have that conversation to let you know, look, I know, I hear you, I see you, I got it. I'm working at it. I'm working it out for you. And you will know when God is working it out for you. Sometimes you will feel it. Sometimes you will see it, because something will come over you where you were angry about a issue, where you were angry about a concern, where you were just fretting about it, and all of a sudden, because you were praying and you're talking to God, all of that starts seeming to ease. It starts slipping away, and you don't really know when, and you don't know how. Then you start feeling yourself. You know, me myself, I'm getting ready to cut my hair, right? So it's a process for me, because I love wearing my ponytail. I love wearing my little bun, but it's something like happening to me every February, every March. I cut my hair. I make the decision I want to cut my hair, and then I keep say, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And eventually I go to the barber and I let him cut my hair. And I get my hair cut. And I start feeling brand new, right? Then I start wearing different makeup, and my lip. I just start getting back into myself. And that's where I feel that I'm at right now. Um because I have seen the promises of God. I have seen the things that I prayed to God. I have seen that come to fruition. So whatever you're going through, whatever you're going through, Take it to God in prayer before you take it to anybody else, your mama, your sister, your favorite cousin, your bestest friend. Take it to God in prayer. And whatever you're feeling, don't dwell on your feelings. Do not dwell on what you feel because you'll get stuck in your feelings as well. You will get stuck in your feelings as well. And I was reading, okay, read Numbers, what was it? It was Numbers 13, verse 20, started verse 25, and until you get to chapter 14, verse 10. But I like to start at Numbers 1 and go all the way to verse 10 because you'll get a better understanding of what the text is saying. But I guarantee you, you'll get a thought and you'll get an idea and something to pop, and you'll say, oh my God, this is it. This is it. And then I want you to go to Second Peter 1, verses 5 through 7. And it's just talking about the beautiful layers, how it says the art of a painting lies not in what you see, but in the process that has gone into making it become what it is that you see. Usually a painting begins with inspiration. And then after inspiration, you get an idea. An idea or emotions will provoke you that wants to be expressed. You know, I would like, I don't know what time it was last night, uh early this morning, and I got up. It's like I was prompt to get up to give God some thanks. It was before I even got up and listened to my word or anything like that, because God had allowed me to get my house back in order. I did 3 loads of laundry yesterday, fold them up, and I don't mind washing and folding, but when it starts getting to putting laundry up, I just don't like it. But it's something that I have to do, so I do it because I don't like stuff laying out of place. And so my house was so clean, so quiet. And I got up, I don't know what time it was. It had to be like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I just said out loud, Lord, I thank you. I thank you for all of this. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And then I went and got into bed and I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I saw a beautiful start of a beautiful day. So my hope for you, my desire for you is to pray without ceasing. Let prayer continually be in your mouth. And don't let that obstacle, don't let that mountain become your obstacle. Whatever you're going through, pray about it. Don't worry about it because you will see God move on your behalf. So, as always, I love you to life, and I thank everybody for being here. Let us all pray for one another in Jesus' name. Hey, girl. Hey, I am her. I'm her. What? Thank you for being here this morning, Carrie. Thank you for being here, aka thank you for being here. Sean, thank you for being here. And I know I be saying your name wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna say it the way I think it might be said. Guta. I'm gonna say it. Thank you for being here. And if it's wrong, charge it to my head and not my heart, girl. Cause I ain't gonna even blame it on my age. I said what I said. Thank you for being here, and I pray all turned out well for you. And I thank Miss AKA. I especially thank you for being here, as I thank all of y'all for being here as well. And for the people that's watching, and the people that dropped off from watching, and for the people that just might happen to watch, I thank God for y'all as well. It is always my prayer and my desire for you to be prosperous and to multiply whatever it is that you're doing, that you be prosperous and that it multiply, and God bless you in a supernatural way that you don't understand, the world don't understand, and the people around you don't understand. And I ask you to be encouraged today. And if you are encouraged by anything that I have said today, encourage someone else. And if you have been blessed by what I have said today, be a blessing to someone else as well. Don't keep it for yourself. Don't keep it for yourself. And that's right, Evelyn. God is all our suppliers. He sees that we have all our needs, not our wants. You know, our wants, that's just an added bonus. But our needs, God said, He'll supply all our needs. And I just put in here, give some of our wants too. Yeah, I have to interpret the scripture the way I see it, that people can understand it in the way the way I see it. And that's just me. That's just how I do it. But y'all, it's Thursday. It's Thursday, January 30th. The day is Thanksgiving Thursday, Thankful Thursday. There's something to be thankful for. And if you can't find nothing to be thankful by, do this a couple of times. Be thankful for that breath. So in the meantime, and between time, as always, whenever you see me, holler. And I'll holler back. That's what I do. Deuces, peace out, and I love you. Bye.